Welcome back, guys. This is Emily, and this is my channel, Snark and Spark. And today, I'm hopefully going to give you a really short video because I just want to cover the homework that's been dropped in School of Magical Stitches, aka Magical Stitches, and in Daily 30. I'm going to go over Magical Stitches first because I know that's probably why a lot of you are here, and there's been a lot of questions, and I'm hoping to film this and get it out to you guys and answer those questions. Also, it is a lot later than I normally film. It is Monday. I do film on Mondays, but I usually film right after we get back from school. But with it being almost 70 degrees here today, we had to take advantage of the nice weather, and so we played outside in our backyard with our dogs, and then we went on a walk around the neighborhood with one of our neighbors' dogs as well, and it was just a really good time. And then we played some more in the backyard and then came in and did dinner. So it's just been a busy afternoon, but I'm glad I took that time to hang out with him and get some exercise, and the dogs loved it. So here I am. So let's jump in. So we are on book 2, task 2. This week is On the Hunt. Attention all campers, we have a situation right now that we must address. We have 3 missing campers who we believe snuck off to complete a quest that they felt should have been given. To discourage any more campers going rogue and running off on self-appointed quests, we have decided to grant you all your own quests to complete by the end of the week. Hidden around the camp and in the forest are 10 items that the camp director and counselors have misplaced. Your quest is to find all 10 items using the least amount of whips. As this is an important quest, for many of you, we have decided to award a bonus to whoever completes the quest using the least amount of whips. To qualify for the bonus, each whip used must have a minimum of 4 of the items on it to receive the bonus. The bonus this week will be very rewarding for each of you. There's a big bonus available to those resourceful enough to find all the items on one whip. The list of items you need to find is below. However, if you cannot find an item, then you will need to complete penalty stitches on your oldest whip. To collect the items, you must stitch 100 stitches per item. Some are easy to recognize, others you have to explain. Your list. Now, before I read the list, I want to go over a few things because this is what's tripping people up. So generally, and in this group, we have talked about it before, I've mentioned it many, many times, creativity is absolutely applauded and adored and encouraged. This week, we are asking for very specific items, so you have to give specific items. Most of the time, we've said it, you've heard it from Sammy and Vicky and from everyone else, if you can spin a story and make your whip fit, do it. More than likely, we will accept it. This week, we are asking for very specific items. So there is no wiggle room this week. If it is not what it says, it doesn't count. And I know that's different than how we normally do, but that's the point. So think of this as, and I said this in the Demigod chat, so if you're in there, you've already heard this from me, but think of it as a scavenger hunt. If you go into a scavenger hunt and you are supposed to find items and you bring back an item that's kind of what it says, but it's not, it doesn't count. So you have to do what we're asking. Most of the time, lots of wiggle room. This time, specific. So please be as specific as possible. If you can't do it, it's fine. There are penalty stitches, and you could still do 100 stitches for whatever item you can't find on your oldest whip. Ta-da! Now, the other part of this that I want to explain before we move on to the list is where the bonus stitches come in. So I had misspoken earlier, and I will take the blame for that, and I had said the wrong thing. So I am officially saying the correct thing here. So the whole point of this exercise is not only to stitch on these specific items, but to be resourceful and to use the smallest number of whips that you can use. So try and pick, obviously if you pick one whip and you have all 10, wonderful, perfect. You will earn 1,000 extra stitches. Awesome. So you've stitched 1,000 and then you will earn 1,000. Cool, fantastic. The next as you go down, if you pick one whip and you have all 9, if you can get 9 out of 10 on it, you've earned 900 bonus stitches. So you would still stitch 1,000. So say you did the 9 on that whip, and then you did 100 penalty, or even 100 on a different whip. Your bonus would still be 900. Everything makes sense. It gets tricky when you get into, say you have 5 and 5, or say you have 6 and 4. So, because it says if you have 6 on an item, 6 items on a whip, that's 600 bonus stitches. But it also says if you had 4 items, that would be 400 bonus stitches. The bonuses can only be earned once, and one time only. You cannot go, I have 6 items on this whip, which gets me 600 bonus stitches, and I have 4 items on this whip, which is an additional 400 bonus stitches. No. It'll be awarded to the highest. So you have one that has 6 on it, you would earn the 600 bonus stitches. You don't also get the additional 400. No. You can only do it once. So there is that incentive to try and use as few as possible and get as many items on one as possible. So there was someone in my group that had said, Kennedy, there's someone who was like, I can get 8 on this one and 2 on another. So I could get 800 stitches, but what if I do 5 on this one and 5 on that one? So I would get... You're all right. Kennedy, come here. Come here, baby girl. Yeah. More kisses? Yes. Just want some attention. See, look, we got them new collars. Do you see this? Look at this beautiful collar on my big baby girl. Yeah. So now they both have collars that have their names on them. So hers is purple and it has gray lettering and it says her name. And Eisenhower's is orange and it has his name in black. I think she's trying to get to the cat who is up there. Anyway, so in that example, just because you had 5 and 5, you don't then get to do 500 bonus stitches and 500 bonus stitches. Because that kind of defeats the purpose. The point is to do it as few as possible. So I'm going to try and do all of mine on one whip. The whip that I would be more likely to find that on would be my Harry Potter one. So I'm going to do my best to find all of my objects on there. And if I can't, then I'm just going to do my penalty stitches. So here's the list. And again, we are being specific. Let me let her up. 1 second. Okay. And we're back. So here we go. Here's the list. Number 1 is a horse. Number 2 is a chicken. Those are very specific. No wiggle room. Something related to a bride that you can explain upon because we're not being specific. It doesn't have to necessarily be a bride. It has to be something related to a bride. Something hot. Again, that one very open. You could say coffee, tea. You could go with beverages. You could go with food. You could go with the sun or stars. Summer. Something cold. That one is also open-ended. Snow, ice, winter scenes, fish, water, my heart. So that one, please, those be creative on. Something specific. The ones that are specific, again, number 6 is a fish. Specific. 7 is something that smells bad. That is open to interpretation because something that smells bad to you may not smell bad to me, but what comes to mind immediately for me is smoke, fish generally, poop, things like that. Animals, barns, dirt, soil, rotten food, Number 8 is specific. It is a boat. There are lots of different kinds of boats, so don't box yourself in. 9, something related to a soldier. That one is open-ended as well, and it doesn't have to be a modern soldier. It could be medieval soldiers. There are lots of things that could be related to a soldier. It could be anything from weaponry to uniforms to tools to flags to shields, crests, castles. It doesn't have to be very, very specific. It doesn't have to be a weapon or a gun or an actual military piece. It just has to be able to be related to a soldier. And I've actually seen some really creative posts. Someone has a barn, and they used that. I believe during the Civil War, soldiers would hide and camp out in barns. It relates. 10, something related to nature's magic. Now, this has got a lot of people stumped. But think of it like this. Basically, everything in nature is magical. How do trees know how to grow? When do flowers know to bloom? When does a caterpillar know to go into its cocoon and become a butterfly? Things like that. How do the seasons know to change, and the clouds to move, and the leaves to change color? Just things like that, where it happens in nature, but how does it know to do it? So think of it in that way. Things you cannot use, like water by itself is not magic. Water is typically affected by the tides, which is affected by the gravitational pull. Harriet has been very, very clear. Water does not count as nature's magic. So that is coming directly from an admin. There is a bonus, which would be an extra or an additional 100 stitches. So if you do the bonus, you would have a total of 1,100 stitches that you actually stitch this week. The bonus is to stitch 100 stitches using gold metallic thread. That would earn you an extra 200 bonus. All right, dude. My dogs are freaking out a little bit. So using actual gold metallic thread or using a blended thread, as long as you have a metallic thread in there, and it has to be gold. Ta-da! I think that covers it. And good luck, campers. And one last thing, make sure you bring bug spray because you're going to need it. So that's that. Moving on. So if you're done with magical stitches, you're done. This is it. I am now going to move on to the Daily 30 for this week, and that is closed. So I'm sorry if you're not in that group. This won't matter to you. And then I'm ending the video. Normally I do a little bit more afterwards. I kind of chat a little bit, but not tonight since it's late and I do want to get this up for you guys. I will do a more floss tube probably tomorrow or Wednesday on my day off, where I will talk about books and movies and TV and stuff, because I've been kind of lazy with my stitching. But I've learned a new card game. So, so don't worry about that. You're not going to miss out. I'm going to do Daily 30 and I'm going to end it. So I understand if you don't want to stick around, but thank you if you do. So let's talk about Daily 30. This is all about Woody Woodpecker. Woody Woodpecker is a cartoon woodpecker that appeared in this theatrical short film produced by the Walter Lutz studio and distributed by Universal Studios between 1940 and 1972. His infectious laugh and zany personality has made him an icon in modern pop culture. I just immediately go like, let's spend some time with this crazy bird this week. And because the person who created this is also having another group for March. Instead of doing like a March Madness, they're doing a March Mayhem. That is open to anyone, so if you want to join that, check that out. It is March Mayhem. Because people are participating in that, she's intentionally made the prompts very broad and very open-ended, which is great. But there are no alternative stitches this week. So we have number 1. The inspiration, I feel like I did this every time. And so each prompt is either 200 stitches or 2 hours, or 300 stitches or 3 hours. Number one, the inspiration for the character came during the producer Walter's honeymoon with his wife Grace in 1941. A noisy woodpecker outside their cabin kept the couple awake at night, and when a heavy rain started, they learned that the bird had bored holes in their cabin's roof. Walter wanted to shoot the bird, but Gracie suggested that her husband make a cartoon about the bird, and thus Woody was born. Stitch on a piece of your choice and tell us about a time that a bird annoyed you. So I'm going to stitch on whatever I want, but I'll go ahead and share the story. So at our old apartment that we lived at before we moved here, there was a pine tree, like a giant evergreen, that was right outside the window of our guest bedroom. Now normally this wouldn't be a problem, except for there was this bird that woke up every single morning between 5:30 and 6 a.m. and sang its little song, and because it was right there next to that window, it was so loud that even through that room with the door closed, it would travel through our closed bedroom door and wake me up. And it was awful. And this happened like every day. Two, Woody first appeared in the short Knock Knock alongside Andy Panda and his father. The woodpecker constantly pesters the two pandas. Oof. Apparently just for the fun of it. Put stitches into a whip and tell us a knock knock joke. The only one that's coming to my head right now is knock knock, who's there? Dwayne. Dwayne who? Dwayne the bathtub, I'm drowning. I shouldn't find that as funny as I do. 3. Woody's niece and nephew are Knothead and Splinter. His girlfriend is Winnie Woodpecker. Stitch on a whip and make up a funny name for one of your family members. Tell us about it, but please do not use names in your story. That's actually, I call my sister Birdie, which fits for this. It is a play off of her actual name, but it just kind of stuck. I used to call her that as a way to get under her skin, and then she actually started to like it, and it has stuck ever since. So. Or we would jokingly call our dad Gourdhead, because he called us that as well. 4. In 1947, Woody got his own theme song, the Woody Woodpecker song, making ample use of the character's famous laugh. Stitch on a whip that could be your theme song. This one is hard, because I think this would have to be something that you really relate to. For me, what comes to mind is my oldest whip, which is also my penalty piece for School of Magical Stitches, because it is the bookshelf. It is the book lover's bookshelf, and I am a book lover, and I do really like that bookshelf. And I think my theme song would have to be about books and the color orange and coffee and my dogs and my cat and my kid and wine. 5. Woody came in at number 46 on TV Guide's list of the 50 greatest cartoon characters of all time in 2002 and 2003. He came in at number 25 on Animal Planet's list of the 50 greatest movie animals in 2004. Put stitches into a piece and tell us what your favorite animal is. Only choose one. I love owls. I don't know if they count. Are they considered animals, or are they just considered birds? I love owls. If I had to pick an actual animal, it's a reptile. Because I like crocodiles and alligators, but those are reptiles. Oh no. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite animal. I do like dogs, but who doesn't? If we were thinking probably big, it'd probably be one of like the big cats, because I do think that lions and tigers and cheetahs and like panthers and stuff like that are just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful and majestic. And they could easily kill me, and I love them regardless. Number 6, did you know that Woody Woodpecker is the mascot for the Universal Studios theme parks? I did not know that. Put stitches into a piece and tell us the name of your favorite theme park. Oh, that's easy. Holiday World. You've probably never heard of it, and that's okay. So Holiday World is a theme park based off of the different holidays, the U.S. holidays, and it is in a town called Santa Claus, Indiana. And if you ever have the chance, go. It is my favorite thing ever. I grew up about 45 minutes away from it, so on summer days, especially after I learned how to drive, my friends and I would make a day trip up there a couple times a season, and it was 2 theme parks in one, and so you would have roller coasters and amusement park rides, and then there was also a water park. And the admission was the same, so you paid once to get into both parks, and you could stay all day. Sorry, buddy, not today. I'm almost done. Sorry. But you could stay all day, and there was free parking, free sunscreen in the water parks, and free soft drinks. Once you were in the parks, you could either choose to stay and eat there, but there was also a picnic area. So if you brought your lunch in like a cooler, you could leave, they'd stamp your hand, go to the picnic area, eat your lunch, and then come back in. Like, really, and I think a ticket cost like $45. Like, that's what I remember it being. I'm sure it's gone up a little bit since then, because that was easily over a decade ago. But I mean, growing up on that, I went every year since I was a child, since I was younger than my son is now. We went every year, and why wouldn't you? Like, it was wonderful. So yeah, look it up. I make a road trip to Santa Claus, Indiana. Hopefully you won't regret it. It's a wonderful town. Everything is Christmas themed in that town. It is exactly what it says. You walk into Holiday World and you are immediately hit in the face with Christmas. And then there's the Halloween section, there's a Thanksgiving section, a 4th of July section. Like, there's just, and then the water park is safari themed. So everything is the wildebeest and stuff like that. And it's just raging. Oh, what is it? There's the Raging Rapids, the wildebeest. It has like the only like water roller coasters. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Check it out. Even just look it up. It has like some of the best rated things in the world, actually. So, and I used to live so close to it, and now I live so far away. I would love to go back just to go to Holiday World. It's been a little while. Maybe we have to do that this summer. Da-da-da. And last but not least is the non-counting Stitch for 30 minutes for 5 days. That ends on Friday. That is all I've got. So I'm going to wrap it up. I am under half an hour. I'm going to be done. So I will do like a little floss tubey thing tomorrow, probably like a floss tube extra where I actually sit down and just kind of chatter, show off some of my whips because I haven't done that in a while. Just touch in and talk about the books, talk about stuff that I mentioned, and I'm gonna leave it there though. I'm thirsty. I would like to take a drink of my water, which I don't have in here, and so thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. I will talk to you very, very soon. In the meantime, happy stitching, happy reading, happy listening, happy watching, happy doing whatever it is that makes you happy doing. In the meantime, be easy with your hearts.